The vision for Christmas in the Village really stemmed from a conversation that Willie and I had.
We've been talking about that now for, literally ever since I moved to Omaha. I've heard people talking about what was once on 24th Street, what was at 24th and Lake, and it's the heart, it's traditional history of North Omaha, and that's really the heart of it.
Because of the season, the holiday season that we're in right now, Christmas in the Village was something that Willie had came up with, and he says, wow, wouldn't it be great?
Really struck me about Christmas, and as you go around the city, in most parts of the city, you see lights, you see various activities going on for the kids, for adults to celebrate the holidays.
I thought, wow, that's a great idea. Maybe we can look at that for next year. And he said,
this is something we need to do this year. But in North Omaha, you don't see that. You don't see a whole lot of lights. You don't see a whole lot of one major event that really sets the tone for the rest of the holiday season. So I remember sending out an email to a few people and saying, hey, what about Christmas in the Village? Building off this rebuilding the village concept.
That was something that we really wanted to do, and more importantly, bring families back in the area, and to bring something that this community, North Omaha community, can really embrace itself, experience what everyone else experienced in their own community.
And it was kind of just to see how people would respond. And the response was immediate, and it was, we need to do this. There's usually at least one strong traditional major event that kicks off the season, and at that point we had lost that one in North Omaha. This was an attempt to begin and set a new tradition. And the other part of it is, you hear a lot about historically 24th and Lake, people coming down to it, but now seeing a vision of young kids, from, I remember seeing an infant, maybe a couple, maybe 4 or 5 months old, their mother brought them to see Santa, and then even to older generations that saw it. I remember speaking to someone that grew up and had been on 24th Street at its heyday. So you had from the youngest generation to generations that grew up and had seen what it was. We started with something really positive for the kids. So we wanted to have Santa there. We wanted to have food for the adults as they were waiting, games and activities, crafts and that. So it was just awesome to walk into that building and just feel the energy, the excitement, the music's playing in the background. Santa's there, and the kids are receiving free gifts and getting a chance to meet with Santa. But then also the adults could go and purchase food. So you had a Big Mama's Kitchen and Catering, which has been internationally recognized on the Food Channel and the Travel Network. And then also we had Potatoes, which is a new business in North Omaha, provides tremendous food. I tell you, there was a line just about every time you walked in there for people getting potatoes. And then also Chef Mike, who has his restaurant there. So there was an opportunity to engage in purchasing food and tremendous value there. So it was just a beautiful setting.
Loves Jazz Arts Center actually had arts vendors that were on the second level that were selling products and goods that they had made by hand. And that's very rare that you can get that.
Our main focus was to make sure that all the kids that showed up, they left the event with a gift. So we basically played the Secret Santa. We got a bunch of gifts for the kids. We ended up with about 600 bags. We gave that to Santa, and he gave it out to the kids. And we had a large group of kids come out. We had anticipated 300 kids, and we ended up giving away over 600 gifts. So the main focus for Impact One was to make sure that the kids had a good time, and we got a lot of good feedback from the parents and other community residents.
The liveliness, and that brought the vibrancy, if you will, back into the area. And then if you walk further down in the OEDC, or Omaha Economic Development Corporation building, they had little elves, they had treats that they were passing out to the kids. We selected the businesses primarily to get people into those businesses, and then to also allow the businesses to give something back to the community by way of treats and gifts for the families. And then to top it all off, we had carriage rides.
Our building was where the carriage ride started and would terminate. Because we knew it would be a little chilly outside, we needed a place where people could stand inside and if they wanted to wait while that occurred. So our building was the kind of the warmth for those individuals who needed to get out of the cold.
And these are the same carriages that you see down in the old market area. And to see the faces of the children and even the adults was priceless.
People's eyes as they were coming down the street to see a carriage ride coming straight down 24th Street was one of the best things that happened during the day. And again, I think the adults were just as excited as the kids to take part of the free carriage rides.
And I even overheard one of the little girls said, "Wow, this is great." And when you talk about the feedback from the community, it was very, very overwhelming, and to a point where, you know, they're looking forward to this every year now.
Just across the way, we had the Dreamland Park, which I think was one of the best attractions, where you have some of the best artists, gospel artists and others that were singing songs, caroling.
At the Dreamland Park, we had a beautiful venue that was set up for caroling. So we had outdoor music, we had a band set up the last few that actually played background music for several of our vocalists. We had Doriette and Eric Jordan, we had Danny Cleveland, we had Claire Memorial Choir that was part of the festivities. So again, bringing music, if you will, because music has a way of bringing people together.
The setting in the background, the jazz statue and others, just beautiful setting. But you had that feel for what can happen at 24th and Lake, and that people of all incomes, all races were able to come down, participate in the holiday event.
None of this could have ever happened, or to be able to bring the vision into reality without really a lot of hands and a lot of hard work. And when you talk about the feedback from the community, it was very, very overwhelming, and to a point where, you know, they're looking forward to this every year now. I think we've done something where we can say Christmas in the Village is a signature event.
This was something that had not occurred in this community before. It was very interesting to see whole families come down and just partake of the Christmas spirit.
Really, the vision became a reality.
Now there's a new tradition here where you have kids that have actually come to 24th and Lake, had a great positive experience, and that's really now a new tradition that we're looking for.